Well, look who showed up. Today, I thought I'd make some cinnamon buns. And I'm going to show you how to make them. And they're really, really simple, really easy to do. Just no problem at all. I got my recipe book here. It's got everything in it. What I do use is I use my bread recipe and add a little bit more sugar to it. So that makes it the dough a little sweeter. Well, how I start is I use a pot here and put 2 cups of warm water into the pot. The water that we have here, I have to take it out of the bottle, so it's actually cold water. So I put it on the stove to heat up a little bit. I add, like I said, 2 cups of water, 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, and a full cup of sugar. I use my bread recipe and add more sugar, so it only really calls for 3/4 of a cup, but I put in a whole cup to make the dough a little sweeter. It's yummy. So then I put the lid on it, take it off the heat, because if it's too hot, it'll kill your yeast. And what happens then is it won't rise properly. And so if that happens, which it does happen, if that happens, then just flush it down the toilet, because it's really good for your septic system. Okay, so back to the bread dough here. I have done it. I'll show you what it looks like. I have to leave it for about 10, maybe 15 minutes or so till it rises up, and I'll let you show you what it looks like when it's all risen up. You see? Oh, you tip it over, it's all gonna pour out. Anyhow, so when I got it like that, I stir it up a little, and then I add 1/4 of a cup of just plain vegetable oil. Put that in there. And I add some salt. And salt is used in recipes. Really, salt is just more for a flavor for the taste of things. Salt doesn't really have a big importance in cooking, but if you don't use salt in like your mashed potatoes or your vegetables or your pasta or your bread, it's very bland. So the salt adds that to it. So I'm just gonna get a 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That's what it says here. 1.5 teaspoons. So this is 1. And I don't want to put too much in because I want it to be more on the sweet side. Of course, cinnamon buns are nice and sweet. And I take it and stir it all in nice and good. Make sure the sugar's completely melted and used up. Oops. And then, let's see, that's about all there is on there. So now, the easy part is just adding flour. I mean, that's all you gotta do is just put all that stuff together, add flour, just about done. It's really an easy recipe. Now, take my flour, and the important part of adding your flour to your recipe in a yeast dough is the first couple of applications you add it in 2 or 3 cups at a time. It takes 6 cups. So for the first couple of cups of flour, it's really important to work the gluten. Okay, gluten is what holds your bread together and makes it, well, bread. So what I do is I add, these are 1/2 cups, so I just put 2 cups in, right? And I mix it up really well. This is the part that really stretches your gluten. And the reason I know this is because I took a course in baking and pastry arts. It took me a whole year too. And they taught you all about the breads and buns and cakes and pastries and savories. And oh, there's my little sweet sister now.
Hello there.
Yeah, I'm making some cinnamon buns.
Are you?
Yeah, I got 2 cups of flour.
I love cinnamon buns.
I know. Sticky buns.
Sticky buns. She makes really good buns.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, she does. I'll just.
There. Now, it's okay. You'll notice that it's consistency now of like a, I'll show you. It's goopy. This is, like I said, this is the part where you really stretch your gluten. it's quite a bit, you have to do it. We want to get all the lumps and everything out of there to begin with, you know. She's up there making faces at me. Okay. If I was at home, I would be using my mixer. And back in the day, I used to have one of those big Hobart mixers when I owned the restaurant. I sure wish I'd never gotten rid of that thing, but I did. I was pretty desperate for money at one time. So I had to sell it, and I did. But I would use I have a KitchenAid mixer that I use now for making this. And this part here, like I said, then it just gets kind of a thick soupy kind of stuff. Okay, so now I've got 3 cups in there now. I'm just going to take another couple in here because now it's going to get harder to stir. Yeah, that'd be about 5 cups, I guess. You see how you can't see the light there, but it don't matter. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Done this for years. Oh. Let's see, that just wasn't funny. Hang on, I can put this in the center. I have a whole bunch of flour down here between my, down the top. I was stirring a little bit, just a little bit too fast. And the reason I'm using my left hand is because my arm was broken 4 months ago and it's still bruised. And it's just not as strong as it used to be on my hand even so. But it's okay. Now it is mixed up pretty good. Witch's brew. Okay, look at how it's kind of a dough. See? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it and put it on the counter. Let's finish off with the flour. Yeah. Put quite a bit of flour down so it doesn't stick, because I'm telling you, it does stick. But that's just what flour does. I mean, dough does. I'm getting one. I just about dropped it. I'm getting my spatula to help get it all out. Just kind of take it off here. So, a lot of you guys, or girls, are you single, or you cook for family, friends, relatives, you know, like all those people that really appreciate some good pastries. Oh man, oh, I used to love it. I used to really do a lot of this kind of stuff when I was doing the Susie homemaker thing. No, just get it all out. And I'm not going to throw this in the sink just as yet because there's no point in washing it and then putting the dough back in just to get it dirty again. So I take this and I knead it. Everybody needs to.
I need it.
You need it.
I do. I need it all the time.
You need to eat the bread, the dough.
Oh yeah, the dough. I need the dough.
You just keep doing it, working it.
Work it.
Work it. Yeah. Okay. You can notice that it's now turning into more of a dough. And this flour, this is just works it in. It works in. And what you don't use this time, you'll use the next time. So don't worry about using too much. This is, I put about just close to 6 cups. It calls for 6 cups, but I don't measure a lot. Because if you measure it and you do the same recipe all the time, then it's like it's the same thing. You know, change it up a bit. And you're making anything. Yeah. The reason you need this is to get it all in there nice and even. Oops. You got, there we go. What do you think? Yes, and you can feel it warming up, the friction. You can really feel it warming up underneath your hands, starting to stick a little bit. Notice how just about all the flour has been worked in. because it gets really, really dirty around here when I cook. That's where it's so nice to have a guy or a woman that comes in and does the cleaning and clean up after you. It's like, I don't mind doing the work, I just hate doing the cleanup of it. And now look at it. Notice it's about all the flour is used up. Okay, now you make it into a nice ball, like that. Put it back into your pot, and we're gonna let it ride. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil on the top, because otherwise it'll get a dry crust over the top. You don't want that. So I usually add just a little bit of oil. There's some even left in the bottom right here. I just kind of work it over the top. I don't like to put too much on, but just enough to keep the crust from forming on it. There, see? Oops, yay. All right, so now I got everything on the list is in there. Now what I'm gonna do is it's really important that you leave it in a draft-free place, because if it's getting a draft, it'll kill your yeast. And now you've got a ball of dough that doesn't even want to rise. So put the lid on it, and I'll leave it for about an hour or so, or, well, probably what I'll do is go have a swim and do some putzing, answer a few phone calls, maybe answer some emails, whatever, you know what I mean. And then I'll come back to this, and it'll be nice and raised up. When that happens, I will bring you back in, and I'll show you how to put the cinnamon buns together, and what can't wait. So I hope you enjoy this part of the thing. I do need to go and get some of this flour off me, because there's a lot of it down there. Yeah, I was going just a little bit too fast, you know. That happens, you know, it happens. It's just the way things are. And yeah, I really enjoy you guys coming and watching the shows, and I find that it's the shows that you guys like seem to be the cooking shows, or Donna doing her gardening, or just our everyday kind of stuff, you know, which is cool, because that's, you know, our home stuff. And lately we've been doing some videos that are us away from the home, and I know they're not like high energy movies or anything like that, but you know, they're fun to do, and I really appreciate you watching them and checking them out as well. We went down to the beach and did some cleanup video. I hope you watch that, because right now that seems to be a really big thing, is cleaning up the oceans and stuff. And that's, oh, well, anyhow, that's another home movie. We're making cinnamon buns today. So I'm just gonna set this over here out of the, well, I don't even have to worry about the draft because I got the lid on. So hang on. All right, I'm back. Look, there's hardly any flour left, right? Except the stuff that's on me. And I just throw this in the sink. It's good to go with the lid back on the flour. That's good to go, but I will have to get some more flour. And down here in Mexico, they don't sell it. Like up in Canada, I buy like a 20-pound sack, or what is it, 10 kilos, I guess they call it, 20 pounds in the States. Sometimes I'll even buy a 50-pound sack of flour, because we do a lot of baking and cooking and breads and buns and cookies and all that shit up there. So down here, I'll show you how they sell the flour. In little teeny packages, and you can buy them in half packages, right? Because you don't use that much. And down here, it seems that we buy our stuff in smaller quantities, because you can just go to the store at any old time and get what you need, not have a whole bunch stacked up in your cupboards. They don't stock a lot of stuff in your cupboards, because it attracts bugs, and it's so humid and hot. Stuff doesn't last that long. So there you go. I'll be opening that, putting it in there, and I will see you when this is finished rising, okay? Hope you enjoyed it so far. Adios. Back. It's been about an hour, I guess. I had time to have a swim. Oh, and it's starting to get cool, Like, we gotta get a heater for that thing. But anyhow, I had time to have a swim, get rid of some of the flour that was all over me. And the dough has risen. I'll check it, show you. It's risen nice, nice actually. And so what I'm gonna do is bring it out onto the board here, or the countertop, and make the cinnamon buns, put it all together. Okay, ready? I'll get everything in place. I just let it fall out. There. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just scrape the last little bit out. All right. Okay, so then we have it here like this. And I'm gonna flatten it out. Might lose a little bit of flour on my hands. Flatten it out. Getting it ready to roll. Just gonna make it into a nice big square kind of rectangle. Kind of square off the edges if you can. Look who's here. Cameo.
Cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, like your buns.
I do. I like sticky buns.
Yeah, well, get it all rolled out. Got everything in place and ready to roll for. I don't want it to stick to here. Oops, it's stuck. It's kind of. Okay, try that again. Okay. It's ready to roll. I think it's big. I think that's about big enough. I don't know, they give you dimensions, but I don't follow that stuff. Then what you do after you got the dough all rolled out, ready to make the cinnamon buns, is I take butter. Okay, don't use margarine. Whatever you do, do not use margarine, because butter it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so if you use margarine, you're just going to be disappointed, because I did, and I tossed them out. So you just butter this down nice and good, you know, nice chunks of butter. When I was in school, we used to use the butter, but it was a lot harder, and we just daubed it on. School. It wasn't school, it was actually college. You get the butter is so good. And you get it all thinned out, ready to roll here. And I already greased the pan, the pan that I'm going to put this in, and I didn't light the oven yet because these have to rise. These have to rise for about 3/4 of an hour. So see how much I use out of a package. So that's it. That's all. Now, what is next? The brown sugar. Is brown sugar over there? No. We'll use this brown sugar here. Just picked up in the package. And it's hard to find. It's really hard to find soft, nice brown sugar down here. It's usually more of a thick, coarse sugar. So now they say to measure it. I mean, they say you're supposed to measure all this stuff. Well, yeah. Okay, this is how much I put on. This is how I measure it. That looks pretty good, eh? Oh no, I got butter on my hand. Oh well. Anyhow, mix it all, spread it all nice and even on the butter. Brown sugar. Ooh. Maybe just a wee bit more, I think. About that much more, okay? Well, I'm sure there's measurements. Anyhow, I'm sure there's measurements, but yeah, okay. All right, so now it's all on there. Looks so good. Now the part that I really enjoy is the cinnamon, and they are cinnamon buns, so it's really important to put lots of cinnamon on them. Lots of cinnamon on them, okay? Because, you know, you want to taste the cinnamon, so
I don't know how much to put on. I just keep shaking it until it looks kind of brown everywhere. Right? Lots and lots of cinnamon. That's kind of lots. And if you don't put enough cinnamon on, you might as well just be eating a piece of bread. Sweet bread. Well, not sweet breads, but sweet bread. Okay? We go through a lot of cinnamon. I might have to buy some more. Anyhow, so I've got that all on there. Lots of cinnamon. Okay, I'm just gonna spread that out, make sure it's all nice and even. And then the next thing you do is the raisins. And I'm telling you, raisins are not the easiest thing to find down here. If you find them, you usually have to rehydrate them in like a really hot boiling water because they're just, well, hard. I found these at a shopping center that we went to, and so I'm just going to use these raisins and just sprinkle them all on. And you know, I don't know how much, about I think that much. I'll see when I get them spread around. And you just spread them all over. Oh yeah. Oh no, I need more. You know, you like raisins? Okay. Oh yeah. Now that's a lot of raisins. That might be just a little bit too many raisins. I'll spread them all. They all just kind of follow the way they're supposed to. Just fall together the way. I can taste them already. These ones I didn't have to rehydrate because they're really nice and soft. So it's good. All right, so now I'm at the stage where I have to roll. Okay, so you just take it and you start, put more in. This is the center. This is going to be the center of your cinnamon buns here. So you know how you like to have that center nice and good. I'm going to put a little bit more goop in there, right in the center. Yeah, like that. Okay, and I just kind of roll it up and over. Do a little bit. Work your way over. And keep working your way back. Keep it tight. Okay. As you're going along, rolls it all up. Dipping the flour underneath there. Okay. Now it's all nice and done. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up, bring it back so you can pinch the edges. Just give it a little pinch and that holds it together, right? All right, now I got it all together. Got all this stuff that's left over, I'll just stuff them in the end. Okay, so now what I do, because the end usually doesn't have a lot in it, so I'll just kind of push it in. See what I did? Kind of push it all in nice and neat. Usually I make a dozen out of here, but I don't know how many are going to fit. I got a pan. It's a different pan than I usually use. I usually use a bigger one, 9 by 13 or something like that. But I have to use this one because the other one's being used. So I'll just cut it in half. So I want to keep the pieces pretty even. Cut it in half again. Okay. And then I just cut this into 3 pieces. 3, 6, 9, 12, yeah. Up there. Up there. It doesn't have to be exact, right? Okay. This one's going to be a smaller one. Okay, you got the pan. Got these ready. And take the first one, stick it in, this side down. Oh yeah. Kind of keep them together, work fast. So when you pick them up, right? Some are a little bit bigger than others, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Keep them going around in a 5, 6. Ooh, I don't know if I got them all in here. Tighten them up a little bit. Oh no. Oops. 7. Ooh. I'm going to put this small one at the end, right here in the center. I gotta try to get 3 more pieces in here. I don't know if it's gonna fit. No, it's not. Maybe. I don't know. No, what I could do is take this one here. I know it sounds weird, but there's one left over. It's okay. I'll take this and I'll put it on a little piece, I'll put it in a Ziploc, okay? And I throw it in the freezer. And so I have one prepared already for next time around. I'll just toss it in the freezer just like this. You take it on a little tray or something. I'll just toss it in the freezer like this and freeze it. And then when you bring it out, let it thaw out and you let it rise. It has to rise again. When it's risen enough, you just toss it in. So I'll just save this one. Okay, so I only got 11, but it's all right. Even up these raisins. See? I know. So now I'm going to set them over there on the stove, and I'll probably put a clean tablecloth or a dishcloth, not dishcloth, towel or something over top, or paper towels. I got paper towels here, just so that, you know, it's not open to the air. You know, there. Here, this way. Yeah, and it just kind of stays there. I don't have to worry about any flies or any debris or anything like that getting on it. So I'm gonna go put this over there, and I'm gonna let it rise for, oh, well, until these come up to the top. So you're supposed to let it rise for quite maybe an hour or something, but a half an hour would probably be enough. And then I'll just take it, slip it in the oven, and voila. When they come out, I usually put a little bit of icing on the top. You use icing sugar and water and vanilla, and you mix it together and you just kind of drizzle it over the top. Sometimes I even put cream cheese in it. Oh, it's to die for. So I hope you enjoyed this. I can taste them already. Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty bad for that. I usually take a little taste of the dough. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I have plenty more coming, and we'll see what I can do about showing you when they come out. It just depends on my mood. Okay? Adios. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.